welcome back to Marngrook. Also welcome to the desk, a legend from the Richmond Football Club, Kevin Bartlett.
Go Tigers.
Always good to see KB, and also joining us, he's reinvented his career as a moving forward. Please welcome Tom McDonald from the Melbourne Footy Club. Good to see you, Tom.
Thank you.
And, well, geez, you've made that transition from the back line up forward there, and when Jake Lever went down, I thought, well, here's a ready-made replacement. Tom can just drop back and cover that hole there. But they've remained playing you up forward, and you've been really enjoying it. It seems like you relish that freedom of playing up forward.
Yeah, I have. I've loved it. I've loved playing forward. I don't think the coaches think I'm a good defender anymore, so that's out of the question. But I've really enjoyed the role. I think it suits the way I play. And being able to have an impact, and it's been really fun.
Talking about impact, on the weekend you copped a bit of a hit to the side of the body there and got some bruised ribs, and obviously they'll be trying to try you out on the weekend, but you've pulled up all right.
Yeah, so I haven't actually bruised my ribs. I bruised my lung, technically, so it's a little bit... It doesn't actually have any pain, but the bruising in the lung is the part that the doctors are worried about. So hopefully that can recover in time for the game and they'll clear me to play because I feel fine. So if I don't play, I'll be really disappointed because it actually feels like I should be all right.
Yeah, Tom, I love watching the Melbourne side play, especially the young guys like yourself in the forward line and Hogan and these type of players in Melton. The thing that probably disappoints me is obviously, you know, beating the good sides, the good teams, and that's been spoken about quite often. What's your thoughts on that and like getting into that? Where do you think you need to improve to get to beat those top sides, especially, you know, the Richmonds and the Sydney Swans?
Yeah, we understand that. We understand that people are going to have questions until we start beating top sides consistently. But you can only beat who you play, and we've been very close against a couple of good sides. We've had some poor performances, probably Richmond and Collingwood. The other three sides we've lost to that are good teams haven't been horrific games. We've lost. While that's disappointing, it's not the end of the world for us, and we think there's a lot of room to improve at the back end of the year.
One stat I have picked up, which is in Melbourne's favour, is I think you're the number one team to kick the most goals so far this year.
Very high scoring.
Yeah, very high scoring.
Yeah, we've got a high scoring team, and I think some of those stats are a little bit inflated because for 6 or 7 weeks we were winning by 70, 80 points, so we probably inflated that a little bit. But we know we have a really strong ability to score. It's probably the other side of the game is being able to defend well enough is the real key to us to beating those top 4 teams and being the best side in the comp.
It was a highly contested bruising encounter with Port Adelaide on Friday night. We saw that incident with you coughing up blood, but how have the players pulled up from that? Obviously you look towards St Kilda this week, but at one point in time I was on the boundary and there was you, there was Nev Jetta, there was Salem.
Like a hospital.
And Tim Smith, yeah, and you all had blood coming out.
Yeah, I saw you out of the corner of my eye and there was 4 or 5 guys getting stitched up at one time. So I think we're in a good spot because we have a 9-day break until the St Kilda game. So it was a very physical game, probably 5 or 6 contests where guys really came off pretty poorly. But the fact you got an extra couple of days has helped us, and we'll have a training session tomorrow, and I think everyone's good to go.
And just on that, the tackle count was through the roof. I think Port Adelaide clocked up the ton with 100 and you guys had 88. So that defensive, the pressure, the tackle was insane.
Yeah, it was, and it was a pretty low scoring game. Yeah. So KB's always on about the state of the game. It was probably a bit of a dour game for the week, but it was exciting. I think because it was close.
It was actually on the rules committee that's helped put the game into disrepute the way it's played at the moment.
How come, Tom, they played you out of position for the first 7 years of your career?
Yeah, I've got to ask Goody. You've wasted half my career. But no, I think when I started, there was a need as a key defender and not a need as a key forward. So I started there, and I was able to have forge a career as a defender, and I was a late draft pick, so I don't think it was expected. And I think everything I learned as a defender has helped me as a forward, learning what forwards hate. The point of most opportunity to be able to try and score and be involved has actually come from learning what I had to do as a defender to stop that.
Tom, I was going to ask you, Jordan Lewis, champion play for Hawthorn, but it just seems like he's just slotted there in the halfback flank and just seems to be the general and taking and just controlling, and actually having him there. You guys must be getting a big buzz out of him. And also Goody, I mean, I played with Goody. I mean, he's starting to loosen up as a coach and some of his interviews. How are you finding Goody at the moment as well?
Yeah, well, so Geordie, he's been criticised a little bit the last week or so with Bernie Vince about being too slow, but I think those guys offer so much in other parts of the game. Like, they're not quick, but there's plenty of guys who aren't quick who are good at playing AFL footy. So I don't think that's a problem. And he's added so many other aspects to the game, his leadership and his ability to kick the ball, and he's a really good contest player. Goody sometimes you guys don't see the side of Goody that we get to see as players. He can be a little bit straight back to the media, but he's one of the most interesting, funny guys. He always has points in meetings that have players in stitches. He's such a personable coach that has great relationships. So you guys might not see the side we see him sometimes, but he's been fantastic.
Well, we got one slow player here, but he was good, this fella.
Doesn't matter how slow, how long as you get the footy, mate. Yeah, exactly. And kick goals. But one player I want to ask you about, yeah, for all the Nongars back home, is how's young Jeffrey Garlick going? And,
Jeffrey's he's been plugging away in the VFL for a few weeks. It's probably a bit disappointing because we know how good he can be when he's playing good footy. So he's been in some reasonable form. He probably needs that breakout game to really get what his very best is back. I expect him to be back in the AFL side soon, and that suits him, the AFL style footy. And we probably missed that type of player on the weekend.
Now, I've got to ask you one serious question. Well, I don't know if it's serious, but people want to know. But who's your favourite player when you was young? I heard a rumour. Oh, I thought it was KB.
Unfortunately, KB was before my time.
Is this a trick segment or what?
KB could be his grandfather, Derek. So it had to
Tom's
be
grandfather, I was his favourite player.
But Rock and Ronnie was your favourite player.
Oh, you know what?
Ronnie's got tears Ronnie's actually got tears in his eyes, BK. He's going to start crying soon, right?
Oh, we set this one up. It's fine.
Okay, let's have a look at the match preview. Melbourne taking on St Kilda. And as we know, Jeff Garlick still to come back into that side yet. Jake Kennedy-Harris is another one that hasn't played for a while. Jaden Hunt and Dean Kemp's going to get tested this weekend. And St Kilda, well, they're all like a ship without a rudder, KB. And let's get a selection, KB. Melbourne or St Kilda, the Carl Dittrich Cup.
The Demons.
Demons, Abby.
Demons will bounce back.
Ronnie?
Oh, I love Tom. If he's up in the forward line, he's going to kick goals like me, they'll win.
Okay. DK?
Yeah, I love watching Melbourne play, so Melbourne for me.
Yep. Melbourne by about 6 goals, folks. Okay, now, Tom, you probably watched the show a few times, and Rock and Ronnie's got a player profile to run through.
I hope he looks after me now.
Oh, yeah,
I do, Tom, I do, mate. But this is the favourite segment of the show. Everyone just writes in. They can't wait to get on and watch this part. But it's about you blokes. But anyway, we're going to fly into it. I know you guys have actually lost some close games in the last week, but mate, when you get the spirits up, and I think Viney's carried away a bit here. What's going on here, mate?
Viney's in good form there. James Harms can't get their leg moving with the hand, so...
Hasn't had the timing quite right, has he?
A bit different than modern football now, but anyway.
A bit like Ronnie on the dance floor on
Yeah,
Saturday
that
night.
was last night. Last week, the coach, Goody, he just wrote some stuff down in the box here, and I was wondering what he wrote down here. But actually, we've got a mate over in Adelaide Oval. You've actually picked it up. We found it. It's got it here. What would Brucey do? My mate actually found that in the box. Did you know that?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Ruzi always kept a calm head in there.
Well, Goodsy's starting to write some stuff down. He couldn't do that before. I know you and Gordy, you like to muck around on the weekends, and here you guys going down the Bunnings, carrying on like gooses. What are you supposed to be there? What's that? Teddy 1, Teddy 2?
I don't know what we are, but Gorney at every chance he can rips me in the media, on TV, so I feel like I should get him back at some stage.
I reckon you've just sunk about 5 Bunnings snags, both of you.
We actually did. We actually stopped at the front there on the way.
Now, I've got another one here. I know how close you and Gorney, but we've got another shot here. I don't know what he's doing here. Sounds like he's trying to grab some salty plums or something.
Yeah.
What's going on there, mate?
He hasn't got a man crush at all, has he?
The hand was just slipping up just a little bit too high.
He's pretty
He
close,
was
ain't
looking for his wallet, Ronnie.
Was it? Well, you're not going to fight it there, Jesus Christ. And you guys like getting dressed up? I think you do, but let's have a look at this one here. You're,
Ronnie, you've lobbed that one past the producers, haven't you?
Is that Gavin? Was that you, KB?
That's what you call the white
What's going on
pointer
here?
there.
Where is that one? Did you get that one there, the Pirates? Caribbean Pirates?
Here we go. Sorry. Oh, here it is.
This one was in Miami last off-season, actually, on Halloween.
What's going on here? Pirates of Caribbean or Peter Pan? Which one is it?
Bit of both.
No? And I know your brother Oscar, you guys live together.
Yep.
And here we've got a photo of you two here mucking around, just brotherly love. Look at this.
Yeah.
Absolutely sweetheart.
No, we get along pretty well.
What's it like living with your brother, playing with your brother? I think you're in each other's pockets all day, every day. So how do you go with that?
We used to be every night on the couch together. We'd watch AFL 360, every footy show together every night. We were sort of footy nuts. Now we both got girlfriends and we sort of, just go our own way a little bit. So, but no, we are very close. And we've lived together ever since he's been drafted, and it's pretty incredible, really, that we get drafted, the same draft pick to the same club. So it's been a really good experience.
And that's the next one. I mean, you guys are very competitive brothers. I've got brothers. We're very competitive, and we hear that table tennis. You guys like getting them breaking bats and stuff like that. And Oscar is actually watching the show, and I actually went around to your place when you went there, and he actually gave me that one. So that's the ping pong one. He reckons that's yours. And this is the tennis racket. So
Whacked over his head by lots of things.
I think that's the one I whacked Kickety around the bum. So a bit competitive at home,
Fit out
mate.
your head, Ronnie.
Competitive. His two sports he was better at was table tennis and golf. Sorry, I should say. He was always bat and ball sports. I was always the football, basketball, sort of ball, athletic sports. Yeah. So he's definitely better than me at this.
Hey, Tom, on that note, mate, we're going to thank you for coming in the show tonight. Put your hands, folks, together for Tom McDonald, Demon Star, playing good footy at the moment, and the Demons are up and about that lots last weekend. I'm sure they'll bounce back.